Hey everybody, I'm Bryce Machine Bates from Team Evil Geniuses, and this is going to be a replay review brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. Today's replay is going to be a Zerg versus Terran, so let's go and jump into the game. Alright, let's get this started. This is going to be a Zerg versus Terran. I think what I wanted to go over this game was essentially just late game sort of engagements with Ling, Bane, Infestor versus biocentric armies. Either like a Marine siege tank or Marine Marauder siege tank. Nothing that's too like Hellion or like tank or Thor heavy. But because of the multiple abilities of Splash, be it the Banelings and the Infestors, you can really just kind of clear out bio forces in very small amounts of time. With Banelings and Infestors, you can, and then even if you add an Ultralist later on, you can almost just start one-shotting armies with all that Splash. Even, like a Marauder will die, I believe, to like in one Ultralist hit, one Baneling, and one Fungal. So it's just something to think about. And also being able to catch your opponent off guard. So as we see here, early hatchery in my natural, 15 hatch, 15 pool, pretty standard, transferring drones. I always try to have about 5 at my natural right when it completes, so you can defend, and also it's just good to split up your drones between the main and natural so you can mine more efficiently. He runs in with a Marine here, but instead of choosing to engage, I actually just run back because I recognize that my Zergling rally is about to complete, and these should just go ahead, catch up to that Marine and clean him up. And now from here, you see he's just doing your standard sort of reactor Hellion expand, take each of the watchtowers. I'm going to hide a Zergling up here to scout for Marauder all-in later on. Hellion Marauder is pretty scary sort of opening to deal with. And meanwhile, I'm producing my 3rd and 4th Queen. These are just for defense and creep spread. Queens, especially now with the range upgrade, are very good at defending against Hellions early on, and also shooting down Banshees. Banshee play is pretty common now as well. And then spreading creep, obviously, and also spawning larvae at hatcheries. They have so many utilities, they only cost minerals. They're a great unit to be stacking early on. And as we see here, I produced my early Spine Crawler, and this Spine Crawler I knew was going to move down there and take a lot of damage, but it takes so many Hellions to actually kill off a single Spine Crawler, even when it's morphing. And this Spine is going to allow me to start up my creep spread. So he moves down. It's just trying to prevent me from spreading my creep here, pretty standard, but once these tumors start to push forward, I can actually just move down a 2nd Spine Crawler, pretty standard play. Started my Zergling speed, start my lair. I took both my Vespene Geysers at 44 supply. And now that my lair's started, I can actually take both the Vespene Geysers at my natural as well. Started 2 evolution chambers so I can get my melee and my armor upgrades. Alright, so push forward with that 2nd spine, as I said earlier. It's going to allow me to spread the creep up to here now. And there we go. Now, one thing I should be thinking about potentially taking soon would actually be my 3rd base. Baneling Nest inside my main, that's going to allow me the extra AoE. Like, let's say he were to drop my main right now, I could just morph 4 Banelings, or any sort of timing on my quick 3rd, like this. So, we move in here, I scout the Marines, take a few casualties, but nothing too major. I can just fall back behind my spines, and I morph, let's see here, yeah, 4 Banelings. Was going to take my 3rd, obviously I can't really confront this without the Banelings. And this is actually fine. He's able to delay my 3rd, but as long as I can kill off these units' resource value, I'm just ahead from it. So there's no reason for me to really engage until these get done. And I do, and that also has bought me enough time to wait for another rally of units. So I have a few more Zerglings here. I'm basically just going to try to go for a surround. He's only got a medevac, so he can only pick up so much. And he does a good job trying to get positioning, runs behind the mineral line, but it's just not enough. I'm able to kill all that off, and now that I've attained map control, I can just start taking my third. As soon as my lair completed, I built an infestation pit. It looks like I also built spore crawlers because I was unable to scout the main. And Bane speed, taking my third. And now that I have map control, I could just take the Xel'Naga watchtowers and I'm free to spread my creep as far as I want, essentially. Scout the main here for another drop. So a lot of Terrans are like doing these multiple drops. Like he'd pick up this dropship, drop it inside the main, try to target down my third, but it doesn't look like he did that. And just trying to keep up on my upgrades as well. Looks like my 1-1's complete. 2-2 should start here after my Infestor production pretty quickly. And another thing to note is whenever you're using these spines early on just to defend your ramp against marine pushes, Hellion pushes, and then spread the creep out, once you attain map control, these 2 spine crawlers aren't going to help me against an entire like Terran biomech force. So I want to give them some use. And by pulling them inside my main, they're going to help defend against early drops, which is something a lot of people don't really do. They're not even going to kill off an entire dropship full of units, but they more buy you time so that you're not taking drone casualties, and they allow you enough time to send Zerglings and Marines down here. And the Spore Crawler is nice as well because a lot of Terrans are just sending a dropship in blind, dropping, and the Spore Crawler can actually just pick off the dropships. So, as we see here in the production tab, burrows almost complete. I've started this 2-2, and my Infestors are out. And once I have Infestors like this, they're just great against these sort of early bio timings. If you can catch them unsieged as well, they're just a very cost-efficient unit. And the earlier I build them like this, the more time they have to start stacking up that energy and allow me to get off extra fungals. And once these are out and complete, I've started my hive. I also will simultaneously start my spire. It's pretty apparent that when the spire and the hive timing finish almost at around the exact same time, so I will be able to morph a greater spire and start up Broodlord production. But other than that, I'm still spreading my creep. Looks like he's stemmed in here, killed off my creep tumors. That's fine. Still have a few more. Secured my 4th after Infestor production. And now I have the 7th and 8th Vespene Geysers that I need for that hive heavy like Broodlord tech, which is very gas intensive. And it looks like he's gone here, taking his 3rd, taking the watchtower as well. And from here, I'm pretty much just trying to play macro. See, our harvester counts are even. I'm having my 4th up. I should have a little bit more drone production here. Yeah, it looks like some more drones on the way. And that will complete my droning for now. Start up spine crawlers in here to defend against drops. Should actually have better overlord scouting for drops on the left side of this top base. But anyways, I remade these creep tumors. He chooses to come in and waste a scan to kill off creep tumors. I'm completely fine with that. It's a lot of resources that he's kind of just wasting just to kill these myself from spreading creep. And if he over-engages like that, you can just hit a fungal, pick off a good deal of Marines, start evening up the resource count. Looks like I've actually, in the units lost tab, I'm a bit ahead as far as cost efficiency so far. And this Greater Spire is actually just putting him on a timer. I've also started 5-3. Basically, he wants to try to hit before I get Broodlords out. Once I'm able to get Broodlords out, he needs to kind of just fall back, get Ghosts and Vikings, add them into the composition. Because the Siege Tank Marine doesn't really deal with Broodlord Infestor. As long as I'm hitting my fungals correctly, it really just puts him in a sort of bad situation to be able to kind of kill it off. Because he's just relying on me missing fungals and getting underneath my Broodlords with stem Marines to start targeting them down. Anyways, I recognize he's pushing forward here with a good amount of tanks. I need to take this push very serious. So alright, let's go back here a bit. I basically spread out all my units in a concave around the map so that they're taking less and less splash damage. It's allowing me more and more circumference around his army. Whereas if I bunched up my entire army here and then just ran out from one angle, I wouldn't have multiple angles to engage him from. I would take maximum amount of splash damage, and it would be just, I don't know, it would be a terrible engagement for me. But because I'm able to split up my units here, lead with the Zerglings, I'm moving forward with the Banelings, and then sending my rally forward as well. I can really just kind of maximize how cost efficient I am as we go to this engagement. Now, the key that set me off as far as engaging is I have creep tumors here. These creep tumors give me vision, and if I ever see 4 siege tanks out of 7 unsieged, it's basically just he's asking me to catch him off guard. Like without these 4 siege tanks in front being sieged, he can't pick off my lead infestors. He's not going to be doing splash damage to the Ling bio. He's going to be targeting down single Zerglings at a time, which is just terrible for Terran. And so it just allows me to be in a great position for this engagement. So as you see here, go with the engagement. Notice I'm moving with the moving forward with the Banelings and not really wasting too many fungals until I hit the bio here. And once this bio's just torn down, like a single fungal and a Baneling just eliminate all of the mains. It's about as cost efficient as you can be. If you looked at the units lost resource tab, I'm almost double his efficiency here. And that allows me to just kind of keep pushing forward here, killing down his third. He didn't even have a bunker here. And I'm not even all in with this. I'm also simultaneously making 7 infestors for Broodlords, getting my 5/3 upgrades. I didn't even need to engage here, but you always want to try to take advantage of your opponent when they're in like a weakened state like that. All right, guys. Once again, I am ZvT Bates from Team Evil Geniuses. I hope you guys enjoyed this replay review, brought to you by evilgeniuses.net. If you guys like this, you can check this replay review and more out at evilgeniuses.net as well. So thank you guys very much, and take care.